Was I really muted for that whole thing? You know, StreamYard, you're supposed to unmute when we go live. So let me do that over again. Because we're professionals here. And that was a good opener too. I'm kind of bummed. If that didn't really record, I'll have to look back and listen. Hello to all my witches, warlocks, writers, and wanderers. I am KibbyRose. Today is December 26th. Today we have more of a laid-back stream. Normally I do horoscopes with some rants on witchy things and pop culture events with some sprints intermixed, but today we're going to do more of a show off of our Christmas hauls, and I do have a couple rants and things to go over, including some answers to the Dance Moms questions. There's some earth movements that I want to mention about, some drawings that I want to bring up, some announcements, and a situation with Uno games that I want to bring up. I have an update on my Mazda situation, and I just have a little photo recap of this year. Since New Year's stream is going to be all about doing the ritual for the New Year's and bringing in the new year, I figured we'd do a little laid back stream for the end of the year. So I already rolled the opener, so I'm not going to even bother, and we're going to just jump right into this because, yeah, it has been a cold, dreary, rainy, I wish it was a white winter kind of couple of days for my Christmas. I hope the rest of you have had a wonderful rest of your Christmas. By the way, happy Yule, happy solstice, happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas, happy Kwanzaa, all you know, every, you know, into all the others that I missed, that I don't know how to respectfully show, that I don't know how to show respect for in words. I bow to thee. So let's get this thing rolling because I got a couple Christmas presents I got showed off. Like I said before, I got some Dance Mom questions that I want to answer. And yeah, topics to cover. So first thing I want to show, if you haven't noticed, I have a new shirt for my streaming. I noticed today, this was bought at Target. I noticed today I went on kind of a stripe I went crazy with stripes today. I don't know why, but I did. So I got that. And then to match that, this is why I mentioned I went on a stripe rant. If you guys don't remember, for my birthday, I got kind of the same thing, but all white. But this time at Target, I found the same kind of dress, but in the scoop neck that I love. And it's still the same length. And it's still got the curve that I love. So you'll probably be seeing me streaming that, and it's thick and it's heavy and it's soft and it's warm, and I absolutely love it. So there's that. And then I got a pair of my leggings that I obviously always live in. If you watch my stream long enough, you know I live in these. And I don't want that dress to fall off the table, so I'm going to put it over there. So I got another pair of leggings. And then into the fun stuff. Well, that was fun stuff. This is fun stuff. But my absolute favorite, as you guys know, I have a little bit of an obsession with the right kind of paper and the right kind of pens. So I got one of my a new version of one of my favorite pads. And as you can tell by this one, I definitely use it. So I got another one of those because there's a project I'm working on where I'm going back and I'm recapping the topics and the predictions and everything else that I made on past lives, all the way back to the original one. And I've been kind of doing shorthand notes when I can't type. And that has come very much in handy for those times. And then the next thing, sugar paper. So sugar paper, this is their 2025 handwritten calendar. And I kind of needed this because, yes, I have the Llewellyn. Yes, I have this one. And I have this one. It's perfect for travel. Gives me all my planet movements and movements and color dates and all the information I need. But it didn't give me enough room to write. So I have this now. And if you all know, I have at least 14, 15 to-do lists that are all going at times. I actually have a projects and lists list. just so you know. So I need a little bit more room next year with the announcements that are coming up in the new year. I'm going to need the ability to be able to calendar things more. So, and that's another thing. I got one of the biggest Christmas presents from the universe that I could have ever asked for. I just can't tell anybody yet. Y'all are going to have to wait until the new year. But I asked a question to the universe. They gave me an answer, and I was in tears. I was jumping up and down about it, and I couldn't be happier. So I've got really, really, really big news coming in the new year that was given to me for Christmas. I just can't say anything about it yet. But the next thing was, and we're going from what I thought was the least of my liking, because truthfully, I loved everything I got, to the one thing that I loved the most. So rip out my ear. The next thing I got is actually a card from one of my mom's friends, but here's the thing about it. And I wanted to show this off because of all my Authortubers out there that read hundreds of books, okay? She gave me one of her bookmarks that she makes. And I love this kind of bookmark because not only is it thin enough that it's not going to force your book to expand, but it also protects the corner. So I'm actually going to be probably getting a few of these for a different reason, but this was one of the coolest presents that I could have asked for, because I don't know how many books I have like marks or my little flags in marking spaces, and I hate it because they sticky up the book. If you leave them in for a long time, they end up damaging the paper and everything else. Or if you use a bookmark and you have too many pieces marked, it ends up screwing up the binding of the actual book. So I want more of these, basically, is what I'm saying. And if there's any of my clients or anybody out there that would like one of these or would like to try them out, please let me know, because I'd be more than happy to make that happen for you. So, and the last thing, so my mom and I have had one of those relationships where we have worked on it our entire lives. And this year, there's been a lot of breakthroughs and a lot of understanding, bending that I never thought would ever happen. But God works miracles, angels work miracles, and karma, if it works if you're doing the right things, karma pays off. And there's so many blessings that I've gotten this year that it's very clear to me that I am moving the right direction. And one of the things that you all should know is that even though I'm a psychic, even though I've been practicing an active practitioner for many years, I was originally baptized Roman Catholic. I went through my first communion, my confirmation, and my first communion, all three levels. I forget what they are because I study other things now. So my mom still practices the Catholic, or doesn't, not so much that we call each other, she calls herself a recovering Catholic, but she still practices that main kind of religion. So this present meant a lot to me because I've gotten plenty of crosses from my mother in my life. But this time, and I'm going to try not to cry because this got me, it meant so much. This time she really, first of all, I have to show off the box because the box is super cute. I forgot to show that off because I was getting all emotional. So here's the box first. It's the cutest little box, and it pulls out like that. So first of all, I'm keeping the box, and then second of all, here is the necklace. And for any of you that already know, you'll know as soon as I show you, but for the rest of you, I will explain what this is. So here, sorry about that. I'm trying not to be emotional. So here's the pendant. See if I can get it to focus a little bit better on it. And for those of you that don't know, this is known as the Triple Goddess pendant. And I'm actually going to put it on. This is, I don't know how many times in my life. Well, I've actually had to make 3 dramatic changes in my life. For many of you that are my clients and that know already, I've had some really tough experiences and I've been through a lot. And The triple goddess has kind of become my symbol. So for my mother to get me a necklace that is symbolic of my religion and all the changes that I've been through and everything else, it meant a lot to me. So I just wanted to show that off. And then the next thing I wanted to show off also has to do with Christmas presents, but this happened to be from one of our friends. And this is more, the gift is upstairs because we decided to use the gift. However, this started a conversation because my family has card night where several ladies on 2 different nights come over and play cards with my grandfather. And they Uno is one of their games. Okay. Well, they ended up getting an Uno game that's called All Wilds. And this one's just the regular standard Uno game, but we ended up taking the All Wild games and mixing them up. Well, we went to go put the game away. And I opened the drawer that holds all the cards. And suddenly I see Uno Dare. Uno Dare. Uno Dos. Uno Flip. And there's a third one that was up there, or a fourth one that was up there. Now, here's my thing, okay? I love Uno. Uno's fun and everything else. But why do you need? How many versions of Uno do you need? And not only that, but most of them don't really make sense. And the reason that I brought this up is because my mom's literally said, well, if you want to take them, we don't even play them. Because Uno Dare, we're going to get to that. I'm going to explain to you why they don't play Uno Dare. But Uno Flip was so frustrating. They said it was Uno on steroids, and I disagree. It's Uno on narcissistic steroids, okay? And it literally took all the fun out of the game. Dos, I'm still trying to understand these instructions, so if inevitably any day I do figure out the instructions on it, I'll let you know, okay? Now, getting to where I was getting to, Uno Dare. Let me read you the couple of lines. That is why we don't play this game. And for Uno Dare, to give you some context, you have these wild cards, and they have numbers on them. These numbers pertain to these cards. When you draw this card during Uno game, you have to do the dare or draw 2 cards. Now, let me tell you what the dare is, all right? For number 1, act like a dog until your next turn. I'm not kidding. Do a runway model walk across the room. Pretend you are underwater until your next turn. Impersonate your favorite singer. Dance like a robot. Talk like a princess. This is the line. This is the one that got me rolling on the floor because all I could see was a bunch of old ladies with my grandfather sitting around the table and me coming up to get something to eat. And this was occurring, okay? Speak only in grunts until your next turn. I literally envisioned a table of 6 older people grunting at each other. Oh, I was dying. And as I was trying to explain the vision to my mom, she was dying too. But that's all I wanted to say is I don't understand why we have so many versions of Uno. Like, did somebody accidentally push the wrong button on a machine and they went, oh crap? Because that's the other thing. When I was looking at the Uno Wilds game, I was like, why do I feel like that's exactly what happened? Is somebody literally like pushed the wrong button and printed a bunch of wild cards and they went, what are we going to do with this? Because we can't just throw them out. Oh, let's make up a whole new game. And I'm going to tell you, if you play Uno with your family, I highly recommend, actually. I don't recommend any of these games. I do recommend the Uno Wilds game because here's why. We ended up taking out all the plain wilds and mixing the rest of them into the actual Uno game. And considering we've been playing this game for probably 20 plus years, it actually made the old game a little bit more interesting. However, I do sympathize with the older ladies who are inevitably going to have to figure out and understand and not be confused, because my 43-year-old mind, who's very technical, was still getting confused half the time. And my recommendation is, if you do play it for the first time, have like an arrow, a little arrow, something that'll point multiple directions so that you can remember where, what, who, huh. So which direction it's going, because when you have the Uno Wilds game mixed in with the regular Uno game, it does. You lose track of which direction you're going very quickly. So that's that. And then for some of you that already know and some of you that are new, I used to be a Dance Moms Patreon. They have two Patreons, and I do still highly recommend them because I listen to the podcasts and I still listen and support. However, when I was a Patreon member, I sent so many questions to them. And unfortunately, situations occurred where I ended up not participating in the Patreon anymore, but still listening on the podcast, only to find out that they decided to answer my questions. Well, in answering my questions, they in turn asked me some questions. And since I cannot answer them on their Patreon because the money part of the announcement that is coming in the new year, you will see a change in everything else. That money went towards something else. So I'm going to answer them here and hope and tag them and maybe hope that they see them and, they get their answers if they even care. But first of all, they were questioning whether I was a mom because of one of my questions. I am not a mother. I chose not to be a mother. I don't really have the mommy gene. The situation in which I was in order to have a child, the person chose to destroy that situation, and I chose to decide that was the universe's answer to my question. So I am not a mom. However, I love being an aunt. I love kids. I love pets. I love babies love me. It's not rare for a baby to come walking up to me randomly and just, So just so you know, I am not a mother, but I am an auntie. Second of all, when it came to the phones, the Dance Moms seemed to have a little bit of confusion regarding what I meant by phones down in my question. And first of all, I wanted to reference to them that, yes, I am 43, but I was talking about Nokia phones. My senior year, Nokia phones came out, and a lot of us in our senior year started replacing our pagers with Nokia phones. But secondly, I was in that generation where oftentimes we were in our rooms talking on our phones while watching TV with the radio playing when my mom would call for dinner. And so phones down meant phones down onto the receiver. So I just wanted to clarify for you. But I'm really happy to hear that a lot of the Dance Moms used to do the same thing, where their family sat down to dinner and had a conversation, because I have to admit, when my family life wasn't the best, we have rough holidays, but when I look back on things, that's one of the best times that I can think of, are always those conversations around the dinner table. And then the third thing was, Jill, I am with you Friday nights. You explained it exactly the way I would have explained it. Yes, you still have Sunday to recover, but you tell me that I have to choose between 1 or 2 days for recovery at 43, I'm choosing 2. So I am with you on that. I am a Friday night party girl. Saturday, you will see me in my comfy wumfies watching a movie. I am an Apple girl, and that is part of the new announcement that will be coming in the new year, that You will see, but I am an Apple, not an Android. I can't stand Androids. I actually loathe them. Like if I text somebody and the green bubble pops up, I'm like, Anyway. And then fourth, I am both a Trekkie and a Star Wars. My mom was a Trekkie and loved Star Trek. So every night, 4 or 5 o'clock, that's what was on. And in our household, if the parents were watching TV, you watched whatever the parents were watching. So oftentimes I was sitting with my mom watching Star Trek, regular, The Next Generations, Deep Space Nine, Voyager, still love Voyager, Catherine Janeway is still my favorite captain, and Seven of Nine is still my favorite character. And then my dad loved Star Wars. So my first Star Wars movie was actually my grandpa. I don't want to get him in trouble, but he ended up with a copy of the movie, and I used to watch it on a VHS tape. And then my dad took me to my first Star Wars movie in the theaters when they played in the theaters. So there's my answer to the Dance Moms questions, because I wasn't able to. I can't. Unfortunately, on the podcast app, you can't message them. That's what's special about Patreon. So maybe someday I'll be able to get back to it. We'll see what happens in the future. We'll see. So far, the future looks pretty bright, so we'll have to see what happens. So the next thing I wanted to share is I wanted to give a heads up to all of my friends and my clients that are in San Diego and on the West Coast. East Coast, this is kind of half for you, but I've already been giving everybody the warning that I saw a lot of movement happening in the Cascadia. I've been, a couple of my friends on the West or on the East Coast can verify that about 2001, 2002, I started saying that the big earthquake was coming. If you haven't been watching, just over Christmas, there was a 4.9 quake right at the Canadian-US border where the seduction zone is for the Cascadia seduction zone. There was a 5.0 earthquake near Baja, California, which actually caused a tsunami to wipe out the Santa Monica Pier. They're blaming it on the atmospheric flood or whatever. However, if you've been watching the seismographs, I'm pretty sure it was a combination of both, considering where the earthquake was and where the Santa Monica Pier is located. By the way, my heart is broken. I loved that pier. I had many memories on that pier, under that pier, around that pier. So my heart goes out. And then also for Christmas, Mount Kilauea in Hawaii started erupting. And so I just want all of you guys on the West Coast to kind of like, guys, be aware, keep an eye out for things. Go on YouTube, type in earthquake movement. You'll get I forget what, I gotta pull it up. I didn't do it today because today was supposed to be a more relaxed stream. But there is, I think it's the NGSD that handles all of the earth movements and earthquake alerts. And you can keep an eye on it from there. So the last thing that I wanted to go over, which will be perfect because I wanted this to be about a half an hour stream. The first thing I wanted to go over was my Mazda update. So I was having one heck of a fun time with the Mazda here in Spokane. Foothills Mazda, I believe is what they are. However, I have to definitely say that coming out of this situation, I am happy that things were rectified. I hope in the future that they believe me. I do understand why maybe when they first did my alignment or first checked my alignment, they didn't think it was off. However, I was supposed to bring it out. So to give a quick rundown of the situation, basically I took my car in for an oil change and an alignment, drove away, waited 4.5, if not more hours, because evidently the first time they rotated my tires in January, there was a lock for my lug nuts that they didn't give me. Anyway, ended up waiting 4 hours, got my car back, drove away. They hadn't done my alignment and I could feel it. And so I went home, called them, tried to explain it to me. The young lady that was handling the customer service completely gaslit me. I ended up moving up the chain, talked to the manager, customer service manager. He was very understanding, very professional. Other than Demi, that was in the customer service in Mazda, Dan was the only other person that was fairly professional with me, actually 100% professional. Both of them were 100% professional with me. Everybody in between, we had questions. Anyway, long story short, my car was only off on the left-hand side by 0.01 degrees in 3 sections. However, I could tell the difference after they adjusted it. So it's just one of those things where once I looked at it, I was just like, I understand why you guys maybe didn't work on it. However, I also didn't get this printout the first time showing that, you know, my alignment was where it was supposed to be, because that I have to say was different. It was definitely different the second time, as I actually got the paperwork showing the readouts for the alignment that was done. So if there was anything that verified to me that my alignment was done, it was that, and the fact that, well, my car drove straight. Because when you have to back out of a garage door as little as mine, because I had the little one, you can tell very quickly when your alignment is off, because you will take out a mirror if you're not careful. And I appreciate it because I was able to back out the other day and not have to worry about my mirror. And it was nice. And my wrist didn't hurt after driving because of my, you know, surgery that I got when I was 22. But so I just wanted to thank Demi, and I wanted to thank, and darn it, am I doing it again? I feel like I'm doing it again, that I got the name wrong, because Cassie, Demi, those were the 2 people that I was dealing with, and one of them was an absolute sweetheart and the other one wasn't. And forgive me, I will double check, because it's been over a week and it's been busy. It's the holidays. I'm going to double check who helped me and just make sure that I'm giving you the right name. But I'm pretty sure it was Demi and Dan. So that's just, I said I would come back to you with that information. And there you go. That way we can leave it in 2025 or 2024, and I can move on to 2025 without dealing with that, because our next stream is going to be all about doing our New Year's ritual work and releasing and leaving behind and cleansing of what we had happen this year, and moving on to the new year. And I even have the yearly overviews for all the signs already set and ready to go. And even better is I have an accumulation of all the times that I've mentioned any of the topics on my channel. So next year, I'm going to be able to go back and tell you whether predictions I made in 2024 have come true. And one of the first ones that I wanted to share before we move on to the last thing that I wanted to cover, I made a prediction on October 10th that TikTok was going to be banned by the end of the year. And I do understand that Trump is in the works of talking about how to maybe not have that happen. I think it should happen. Somebody should just figure out how to create the app, like do another app like CapCut, so that we can all make videos and stuff, because that's pretty much all we use TikTok for. Well, other than those that are just like, buy this, because I'm done with the whole QVC side of TikTok. Like I said, I've actually unfollowed so many people because of the fact that all they do is push products on TikTok. It's like, no, done. I expanded my YouTube list and cut short my TikTok list, and now I barely even use it, truthfully. I just use, if you guys watch my channel, I use it to make TikToks so I can post it on other places, because it's a good format to make videos with. So if there's any company out there that's smart, that's what they would do. They buy the programming where they were able to make the videos the way they did. Sony should get in contact with them, because, oh my gosh, the amount of music that I found through TikTok. So I don't know. If Sony was smart, they'd buy a TikTok. If Trump was smart, if Trump's companies were smart, he'd buy TikTok. Elon can't buy TikTok because of X, Twitter. But Just saying. I really do feel like somebody in the music industry should pick up TikTok because you could make millions off of songs and everything else. Anyway, moving on to the last thing, I wanted to recap something that I'm kind of leaving behind on my channel for next year because I am integrating it into what we are going to be launching next year. And just so you know, I'm not stopping doing my art. However, I am not going to be posting that much about it on my YouTube channel or TikTok or social medias, simply because with the launch of the next thing next year, my artwork is kind of tied into it because of different levels. So, but to honor that and to honor kind of the rest of the year, because this is our last live stream of the year. This is my last 2024 live stream before New Year's Day. I kind of wanted to do a little recap of my year. And I wanted to start out with something that I found. That is from, if you can see the date on it, 2002. This is a drawing that I did way back when. And I still have it. And I just think it's very interesting because it gives you a little insight of just how creative I've always been. And looking back on it, I can remember where I was and what I was doing when I drew this. And I have to say there's a lot of good memories attached to that. And then the last thing I want to share is just a couple of TikToks and just a couple memory things because just to kind of recap and remind me of what my year was. So I'm going to let this play and we'll go from there. So that's just one of them. I took a trip to San Diego earlier this year to hone my DBT skills just to make sure that I was still on top of everything so that as I instruct my clients and do my psychic work, that I'm also instilling my abilities. And these are just a couple TikToks from that trip. If you don't stop calling, then I can't let go. When you're drunk, can't say that you need me close. Please don't keep me running by your ghost. When you leave me, all I hear is your echo. Oh, and that makes me miss San Diego. It really does. And then the next one I want to show is just, this is something that I talked about for Halloween. The video didn't work during my Halloween sprint. So I wanted to show it off and recap it just because here's the video that you were supposed to see and hear, and it didn't work. So that's the Halloween video that was supposed to happen. And then this is what it actually looked like, what I looked like for the children as they came up to do their Halloween stuff before night fell. And then going into my art, this is the last time on my channel that you will ever see my art, simply because things are changing. So I wanted to show a little bit of it off. And for those of you that are interested, here's just a quick speed through of how I do them. And it's just, I filmed this because I just wanted to kind of give a little idea of how much work I put into each piece, because I work on each piece as I do readings for the clients. And so each client kind of dictates what goes into the actual piece. So this gives you a little idea of how I do my work, or not of how I do my art, but also, yeah, as I'm doing readings, that's what I do. And then these are some of the pieces that came out for my clients. And then this is just a little picture of how many pieces that I've done. And then here's another little video of all of them. And we're going to mute that because, yeah, we don't need to get like, booted off because of things. So, because, yeah, copyright reasons. So, and then this is, for those of you who don't know, I survived an incident in 2017. And so I always said that I was going to get a semicolon butterfly on the back of my neck in honor of it. And that is something that I accomplished this year. That meant an absolute lot. And then this is the WitchCasket, this is me enticing all of you at the last, little bit to go and subscribe for WitchCasket before the year ends. Everything that you're going to see me using next year and sharing next year and doing stuff with next year, most of it is either going to come from WitchCasket or is going to be based off of WitchCasket stuff. So there's that. And then this is for Jeannie in a bottle. I'm going to tag you. She specifically asked me for a spread of the herbs that came in the protection box that I unboxed not too long ago. And I thought I would show it off on my channel and send it to her. Well, yeah, I need to send it to her, but thought I would show it off on my channel because I figured a lot of you would want to see what also came in that box. So there's that. And I believe that is the end of it for that. So that is how I wanted to roll with this. I just wanted this to be a relaxed, laid back, end of the year stream. It has been one of the best years. On one end, it's been one of the best years I could have asked for. Family, friends, community, well, rebuilding community. On another note, looking for employment has been difficult, but I think we're going to be going a different direction with that. We'll see what happens for the next year. So thank you for all of you for coming in and watching and sharing and engaging, and I appreciate it. Please remember to like and subscribe and put a thumbs up. It really does help the channel a lot. I appreciate to all my replay crew that always comes back to watch my videos. I do see you, and I really do appreciate it. And then we're going to close this out, guys, with our cheers, because it's going to be the end of this year. So put your glasses up and say it with me. May your angels be strong. May your energies be positive. And may karma forever be in your favor. And I will see you guys next year. Bye.